Welcome, everybody, to session 2 of our 3-night workshop. I'm so excited to be here with all of you. Man, we have got a packed night. We've got so much to share with you. Last minute, I was adding a few more things to our worksheet for tonight, and it's going to be awesome. I'm so excited to share a lot of this with you. So what is this? Well, we are doing this Messenger Launch Plan workshop to help writers, coaches, and speakers with the 5 stages of growth for building a platform online around your message. And last night, just to show you this real quick, if you missed it, and it should pop in here. There it is. Last night, we used this worksheet, and we just went through all of this material. I'm not going to reteach it for sure, but we talked about the attributes of a messenger, if you remember that. Then we talked about the messenger attraction chart and how we live in an amazing time where we can have our own TV show, radio, direct mail, newspapers in the forms of a YouTube channel, podcast, email list, social media, and a blog. And remember last night, one of the big takeaways I wanted you to have was this idea of moving from a consumer to a contributor. There's nothing wrong with consuming and learning, but 99%, probably 99% of people are more consumers only. I want you to move over into that contributor camp where you're sharing your story, your passion, your skills, and your message, and you're helping other people. And you can actually build a business around this. And that's what tonight's about. So right now we have a bunch of people in the Zoom room. I'm waving at all of you. You can have your camera on if you'd like. I've got 2 screens set up here. Now I must confess, last night somebody said, Jonathan, can you show us kind of your setup here? Because I've got Zoom going. I've got 2 screens. I've got a camera, a microphone. I've got an iPad, a Stream Deck, streaming software. We're streaming on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube. So what does the craziness look like when I'm teaching and managing all of it at the same time? I don't have a studio crew here helping me switch the camera and do all this fancy thing. But I got to confess, I forgot to set up the second camera. So tomorrow night, I promise, Saturday night is session 3. I'm going to set up a second camera. I'm going to show you my setup that I have right here in my home office that I use to teach. And you could have one similar, or I didn't start here either, but you could have something very, very similar. So tonight, we are going to actually jump in to the second worksheet. Now, I went ahead and kept the link the same. So even though it says session 1, I promise you on the back end, it's a new PDF that we're going to go over tonight. So if you want to go to jmill.biz/session1, so don't put 2, that link doesn't exist. Put 1, and it is a new PDF, and I will show you right now what that looks like. So this is what we're going to be doing tonight. We are going to be going over this messenger profit grid. We're going to get down into the how do you earn money as a writer, coach, speaker? How does that work? And that's exactly what we're going to be covering tonight. So I see all of you hanging out over here on Zoom. I'm just move my camera so I can see you. You're welcome to have your camera on if you'd like, or keep it off if you don't. You're totally fine. If you want to turn on your camera, you can. And that's why we wanted to do this, to give you an opportunity in just a little bit to ask me questions. If you're hanging out over on Facebook or YouTube, Twitter, you can ask your questions there. And it's all coming into my dashboard here. And so if you have a question as I get into this teaching tonight, and you would like for me to answer your specific question about your specific situation, just put the capital letter Q in your question, and that way it'll stand out for me in the chat. So, hey, I'm all about jumping in and getting started. So we're going to just jump right in. Hopefully it looks like you guys are getting access to that. Give me a thumbs up if the link worked to get tonight's PDF. Awesome. And we're going to have another one tomorrow night, plus a couple extra bonuses as well for night 3. So tonight's called the Messenger Profit Grid. And we're going to just jump right into this. So where I want to start, actually, let me move something around on my end here. Give me 1 second. So I think this will be, really interesting for some of you to think about it in this way. So let me pull this up. All right. And first of all, while I am pulling this up, those of you, especially if you're on Zoom or if you're hanging out on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, if you happen to have read my book, there's an assessment in there of what I call the 4 influencer voices. If you know what that is, put it in. What are the 4 influencer voices that I've talked about before? Hint, I did talk about it last night. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is going to really help us tonight as we kind of dig into this a little bit further. All right. I see you guys. Writer, speaker, teacher, coach. Right. So I want to look at this a little bit different because you might be saying, well, I don't know which one of these I am. Well, let's look at it this way. All right. If we've got 4 boxes here, you probably have a tendency towards one of these 4. All right. So let's look at it this way. The first one is doer. Now, a doer is somebody who they like taking action. I mean, they take action before they even got all the answers. They're just excited and they're like, I will build the plane while I'm in the air. Let's just go ahead and take off. Is there anybody in here who's like that? Not everybody, but some are like, you're a quick start is what they call it. Anybody quick start? I don't see as many hands on that one, but some of us are a quick start. I sometimes tend to be a quick start, not always, but sometimes I'm like, I get so excited about something. I just start it. And then I'm like, oh, but I didn't realize we needed 2 wings on this plane. Or I thought we could get away with 1 wing. So how are we going to get this other wing built? So some of us are doers. Some of us are bent toward action. All right. Others of us, and go over here, we're talkers, right? We're a talker. We love to verbalize an idea or verbalize it out loud. A good friend of mine is he's a speaker who travels everywhere and speaks, and he is through and through a speaker and a coach, but he's primarily a speaker. And he used to get so frustrated when he was like, Jonathan, I don't know how you blog. I don't know how you write blog posts. And I sit down to write and I'm just looking at the cursor blinking and I don't know what to write about. I said, well, try this. Set up like your phone on a tripod and have somebody give you a topic and then talk about it. He called me like 2 days later and he goes, hey, in 1 day, I recorded 12 videos. I mean, I had stuff bubbling out of me. I had things that just impromptu. So some people are talkers. We got any talkers in here? Like you enjoy, you're okay. You're comfortable with talking and getting in that situation. Yeah. All right. There's another one here, and that's manager. Now, a manager is somebody who likes systems. They like order. They like taking the chaos and making it better and more organized. Let's all get things under control. Let's work on this thing until it makes sense or until it's simple. How many, and again, I know for those that are watching online, you're like, who you keep talking to? We have a bunch of people in the Zoom room. So there's not like a live classroom behind me and people sitting in rows, I promise. So how many in Zoom say, yeah, I am a manager. I like systems, order. Yeah, I see some people shaking their head. No, I am not a systems person. That's okay too. All right. And then we got number 4. This is a thinker. And a thinker is, man, having like my schedule free for the day, or finding a little couple hours in the morning where I can just get away with my thoughts or my computer or a notepad and just kind of journaling or writing out an idea is something that inspires me. That's just, that's how I think through things. I think through a topic. I think through ideas. There's any like thinkers in here? All right, we got some thinkers. Yeah. Here's the good news. You don't have to be all four, but all of these are parts and pieces of a business that you can build with your message. So here's another way to look at it. A doer tends to be a coach. A manager tends to be a teacher. Right? So go back to coach for a second. So a person who's bent toward action and getting things done tends to be a good coach. Now, you say, well, if I say I'm not a doer, I'm not action taker, does it mean I can't be a good coach? No, right? These are all skills that can be developed. I want to be clear about that. All four of these are skills that can be developed. All right. I have earned money over the years in all four of these areas, but I didn't start there. That's the point. All right. But for a coach, it's like, a coach needs to help people get out of their head and take action, be accountable. A manager, somebody who's great at, taking complex subjects and simplifying them down, is a great teacher for creating courses and membership site. Talker, I mean, this is pretty obvious. It's a speaker, right? A speaker is is somebody who you can get paid to speak, and we're going to be talking about that tonight. Some different ways you can do that. And a thinker is a writer. So the point is, you can be a coach, teacher, writer, speaker. And all of these are opportunities for us to earn money with our message. So now let's take this concept and we're going to come back to this top part in a second. That's like the numbers and the math. People like want to know financially, how does the math work? How could I earn with my message? We're going to get to that, okay? But I want to actually dive down here right now, and I want to talk about 12 different income stream ideas that I think just about anybody in any niche can do these 12. Does that mean you have to do all 12? No. The last part of tonight, I'm going to show you how just 3 of the 12 can become a 6-figure business. If your business is bringing in $100,000 for most people, that's enough to like quit the day job to do this thing full time. Or maybe for some of you like Jonathan, if I did half of $100,000, that's full time for me. Great. I mean, it's not so much about the money you earn. It's about the freedom you have to serve the people you want to serve, right? That's what it's about. And so let's get into this and let's kind of talk through this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down as writer. So what are different ways? If you say, I think I'm a writer, what are some different income stream ideas? And then there's teacher. And then let's go with speaker. And then coach. Okay, so let's start with just the beginner on all of these. Now, when I say beginner, intermediate, and advanced, does that mean, Jonathan, if you write something in the advanced column and it's something that I want to do, does that mean I have to do the beginner one first? No. The beginner and intermediate advanced is more like easier to pull off than others. And all of us are different. All of us have different knowledge. We come with, some of us have the ability to hire people to help us. Some of us have to do these things on our own. Some of us, we know how to do certain things. So I don't know where you are, but I'm going to do my best to be like, this is the simplest to pull off. This one takes a kind of level 2, and this is like level 3. All right. So for writer, an easy way to begin, we talked about this last night, is writing and publishing, self-publishing a Kindle book, right? And we talked about last night, $220 million last year is what Amazon paid out to self-publish authors like you and me. So there is an opportunity. If you know how to write in a Word doc and spell check, maybe you do want to hire someone to be an editor, that's fine. You can upload to Kindle and publish on the Kindle. Now, you do need a kind of a book cover, but a book cover for a Kindle is very simple because you don't need all the different size, all the different dimensions that you do on, a real hardcover, right? So Kindle is simple. This is one of the first things I did back when I was doing career coaching. I wrote a 13,000 words. Now, to give you an idea, this book is 60,000 words. So 13,000 words, which, there's blog posts that are that long. 13,000 words. It was never a print book, but it was a Kindle book that I priced at $2.99, and I put it out there on Amazon. And month after month after month, I was earning $2, cha-ching, cha-ching. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it was another income stream for me. And I remember a professor at a college reached out to me and said, I love your book so much. I make it required reading every year for my students in my choosing a career class, because it was about how to choose a career based on your personality type. And I was just blown away about that. I'm like, I'm just a guy with Word doc who wrote 13,000 words about how to choose a career that's right for you. And I just published it. It's not even a print book. And yet, somebody read it to the point where they're recommending it to their students. Crazy, right? But that's the time that we live in. So anybody here can do this, and you could do it for completely free if you wanted. No cost. Just put your time into writing your book, and you could even publish a shorter book. There is no set minimum word count on a Kindle book. I just went for the short one. And the reason why I went for the short one is because in the beginning, I got so overwhelmed with writing the 60,000 word book. I said, I'm just going to write like a mini book and put it out there. And that's what I did. That's how things started. All right, let's talk about teacher. So what's great for a teacher? Great for a teacher is a one-day workshop. Now, this concept of a one-day virtual workshop, we have seen our students use this concept with a lot of success, even from a very small audience. So Kevin Horn in our group, he started a Facebook group for people who wanted a remote tech job, because he has a remote tech job. He wanted to help people get a remote tech job. He got 20 people in his Facebook group, did a challenge, and then said, I'm doing a one-day workshop to just 20 people. He had 3 people pay $100 to attend that workshop. We got Tom Bump. I see him. He's here tonight hanging out with us. You wave, Tom, on Zoom. Everybody can see you. So Tom decided at our live event, he's like, my do this next step is to finally just do the one-day workshop. And I don't remember, Tom, you can tell us in the chat, but you had for the first time ever doing this, you had a good response. I think it was 8 or so people that actually purchased his workshop. And that's a great start. What I love about a one-day workshop, and for those of you that are hanging on Zoom right now, you have everything you need right now because you just got on Zoom. Like, all you need is a Zoom link to give people, and you would be in the place that I am right now, where your microphone would be open, and you'd be hanging out with some people who paid to be in this workshop, and you get to teach them, right? And what's beautiful about a one-day workshop is you get to sell it before you create it. You get to sell it before you create it. So if you said, hey, I'm doing this workshop 2 weeks from now, and you put yourself out there and you let people know, and your audience is still small and no one buys, it's okay, because you didn't put all this energy and effort into something. And so like next time, you'll just have to try a different topic, try again, get feedback from people. Why, maybe you didn't choose the right topic. So this one-day workshop I absolutely love. Okay, what about speaker? We're going to move a little bit quicker here. I tend to want to teach through all of these. The easiest one for a speaker is a paid keynote. And the reason I say that is because if you have a website put up, all you need to do is have a speaking page up. Like put a speaking page up. Get a speaking page up to where people can inquire. Now, does that mean that, the speaking requests are going to come rolling in? No, but I mean, at least you've got it set up. You've got that part going. Now, if you really want to make a go of it, there's some outreach to it. There's things like that. But at the very minimum, get a speaking page up. So as your platform builds, as you get more traffic to your website and people start paying attention to you more, you'll have somebody inquire about your speaking, right? All right, let's go to Coach. The one that I like for Coach is a Work With Me page. Now, when I first started my career coach blog for accountants, this is one of the first things I did. And I mean, even back then, I think about it now and I'm like, man, I was undercharging myself, and we all tend to do that. But I was like, I think it was $25 for a half hour, $50 for an hour, and I would get people every week and I was like, hey, I can't deliver pizzas for $50 an hour, so I'm going to give up an hour of my time. You got me on the phone. You paid $50. I'm here to coach you for an hour. And that's how I got started. Just use PayPal. And it was kind of easy thing to set up, right? So here's all the beginner. And again, if you guys got questions, again, we're on Zoom, we're on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, wherever you're coming from, feel free to ask questions as we get into this now. All right. So again, now we're looking at intermediate for writer. Let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see this. So with intermediate, what's the next step here? Well, the next step is print. Turn your Kindle book into a print book. And I don't know why more people don't do this. You've already written the book. It's just figuring out, like, obviously the cover and the formatting is what you have to figure out, but it's not like you're writing a new book. If you have a Kindle book, by all means, make it a print book. And what's cool about Amazon is they do this on-demand thing, right? And this on-demand thing means someone purchases your book. It actually doesn't exist. Their printers print it, create the book, and they ship it out to your customers. And guess what? They give you like 70%, 65 to 70. I think it's 65, might be 70. So let's just say it's 70% royalty on that. So on a $10 book, you get $7. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. That's a pretty stinking good deal. The other cool thing about doing your own print book is you can request author copies. In fact, I don't know where my Charity moved things around behind me. I don't know where my self-published book is, but it's okay. You just have to hold it up and pretend. My self-published book, which is about blogging, I actually, I can get it from Amazon as the author for around $2.28 a piece. So think about this. As the owner, Charity just walked in the door and gave it to me. Here it is. So this is an Amazon book. So Amazon, I mean, look at that. I think it looks pretty cool. Amazon creates this. So as the author, I can get a whole box of these books for about $2.50 a piece. And guess what? If I were going to go speak somewhere or host my own workshop, I could put this on my book table, speaker table, and put $15, $10, and now I'm making money off of my own print book. All right, so there you go, print book. All right, let's talk about teacher. What is a good one? What's like the next level up for a teacher? And that's an online course. I am still a huge fan of online courses. I love online courses. The online courses was one of the first things that I did that I was like, I'm actually making Swiss dollars. I heard that term from Dan Miller. Some of you have heard that before, but I'll just put it right here. It's an acronym. You know what it means? Sales while I sleep soundly. Sales while I sleep soundly. It was the first time when I created an online course called Job Search Mastermind, and it was a course on how to get a better job. It had resumes, interviewing, negotiating salary in the course. Once I completed that, I think I charged $97 for it, and I had PayPal back then as my PayPal link. And the cool thing was, I'd wake up the next morning, look at my phone, and see the little PayPal $97 while I was sleeping. And I'm like, that is cool. And I was still working a day job at the time. So like every once in a while, my phone would buzz. I would look down at my phone and cha-ching, $97 PayPal. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't have to do anything else. No, it's because I bottled up my knowledge into a course. So somebody was getting the benefit of my experience, but I had bottled it up in a way that it didn't require any more time for me. So I love the online course. All right, what is the next one for speaker? And that is a small workshop. Now, one of the first ones I did when I first got into the events, doing events, I was nervous about getting to events. Like, I don't know anything about doing an in-person event, coordinating a bunch of people. I don't know how to do all this. Like, this is all too new to me. So we started by doing a workshop. And what we did is we charged a few $1,000s for the workshop, and we limited to like 10 people. It was 10 or 15 people. So it was like, I can coordinate 10 people, right? And so think about like if you did a workshop and let's say you charged $1,000, it's for 5 people, it's $5,000. Like you can figure out from that $5,000 how to get a box lunch for them from Chick-fil-A to cover the lunch, right? And yet it is a good place to start. And guess what? Your speaker gets to speak. You as a speaker gets to speak, which is really cool. All right. What's the intermediate product idea for a coach? Well, that is a 4 to 6 week boot camp. Now, this is very similar to the one-day workshop. It's very similar, except for you're doing it 4 times or 6 times, and you're doing it with a small group of people. So basically, it's being on Zoom again, right? And you're on Zoom, and you're here with, let's say, 10 people or 5 people, and you take those 5 people through 4 times of do a little bit of teaching, helping them implement the thing that you want to teach them and helping them to get some success from it, right? So again, it's easy because you're using Zoom. You need a payment link, and you need a way to let people know about your 4 to 6 week boot camp. All right, let's hit the advanced part here. And then I want to hear from you guys. Which of these options do you like? Which one is like, if I had to choose one, this is the one that I would like. All right, so think about that. All right, let's go advanced. Advanced for a writer is an audiobook. So again, you can take your one book that you wrote, you don't have to write a new book, and you could turn it to an audiobook. Now, it is a little bit more advanced because you got to have a decent quality microphone. But once an audio output, you can also hire somebody, sometimes for $150, to just read your book for you. But once that audiobook's up and running, it's another passive income stream, right? So for this book, it is a Kindle book. It is a physical book on Amazon, and it's an audiobook. And that's been up since 2016 when I published it. And we earn royalties on that every single month on all 3 of those since then. And it's a nice, beautiful thing to have set up. All right, for teacher, what is the advanced one? It's a membership site. Now, if you love to teach, a membership site is great. a great goal to go towards, because you get to come up with new teaching tools and new content every single month. It's like your virtual classroom, and you get the recurring income that comes in every single month by having members in your membership site, right? What's an advanced one? And this one's for speaker. What's an advanced one for speaker? Well, that's like, it's advanced, but it's hosting your own live event. All right, maybe you charge $100 or $200, but now you're going to allow 30 people, 50 people to come attend your 1 or 2 day event. And then the last one here on Under Coach would be a 1-year coaching program. Right, so this is going to be more higher dollar. I would say it's going to be $2,500 and up for people to come into your 1-year coaching program. So here you go. I'm going to just show these right here. And whether you're watching over on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, I see you guys, or you're hanging out with us here on Zoom, which one of these would you like to do first or next? Some of you have already been implementing some. Go ahead and put it in the chat right now. Charity just told on me in my in the chat in Zoom. She said Jonathan recorded his audiobook in the master bedroom closet. Yes, I did. With a TV tray table, a laptop, and a microphone. I figured the clothes were the best sounding a room that I had. So whatever you want to call that. All right. People are saying 1-day workshop, says Deb. Paul says Kindle. Crystal says Kindle. Praditya says audiobook. Phil says, I threw up a Work With Me page, have a mini membership that delivers new lessons, courses each month. That's awesome, Phil. Jess says print. It's easy for me and I love it. That's awesome. Meg says Work With Me page. Jess says membership site sounds awesome when I get more content. Alexander says Kindle, audiobook, small workshops. Tom says online course, audiobook. And the big DTN is a mini membership. Love it. All right. So now let's move up here to the numbers. Now there is, and I love actually talking numbers because I think it really helps us to figure out like how are we going to make this thing actually work, right? Now you may say, hey, Jonathan, I just want this to be like a side hustle, part-time income. I like my job. Perfect. Say, Jonathan, I don't need a whole lot of money to replace my income. Perfect. But what I want to do, because I don't know everybody's situation, but what I want to do is I want to talk about this concept of 1,000 true fans. This came from Kevin Kelly, who's a blogger, and he published this in 2007. And people to this day are still talking about this crazy article written in 2007. And I'm going to give you the basics of that whole article. It's this. All you need is 1,000 customers to spend $100 per year. That doesn't have to be one time. It can be just divided up, or some spend 300, others spend 50. It's an average of $100 per year, and you have a $100,000 business. You need 1,000 true fans. And we love this concept so much that in my Insider program, which is my 1-year coaching program, it's designed to help them get their first 1,000 customers. The whole program is helping them create some of these income streams like we talked about and do the audience building to get to their 1,000. I believe if you have 1,000 buyers on an email list, you can convert that into 100,000 or even a 7-figure business, 6 or 7-figure business from 1,000 customers. And so that's the math. Now, if you say, Jonathan, I really need the math. And the reason we're doing this is because some of us are big picture thinkers. Some of us are numbers thinkers. Some of us need diagrams. So I'm trying to hit all the different modalities to help everybody here. If you want it really broken down, let's look at it this way, okay? Let's take online course first. So let's say you have an online course in this scenario. And let's say in this scenario, you sell 7 courses per week. That's 1 per day, or just 7 in a week. And the course itself, you charge just $100. So my first one was $97 for a coaching course on job search, right? And so, like I said, I would sell 2 one day, 1 another day, 3 another day. But if you did 7 courses per week at $100 each, that is $2,800 per month, $33,600 per year. All right, so that's scenario number 1. 7 courses per day at $100 each is $2,800 a month, $33,600 per year. All right, let's talk about offer 2 here. And again, I've just picked out 3 out of the 12 we just went over. So this one, we're going to use the membership site. So for the membership site, if you were to enroll just 93 people, right? So the goal is like eventually you want to have 93 people in your membership. That's just $30 per month. Then that is going to earn you $2,790 per month, or $33,480 per year. So think about that for you teachers out there, right? For some of you, maybe $33,480 is you're like, hey, Jonathan, like that'll work for me. Like, I could do that. That's what I would love to do. I just would love to have, 93 paying members or 100 paying members paying $30 a month. That's $33,000 per year. And offer 3 is coaching. So for coaching in this scenario, really think about this. All right. This is absolutely doable. If you were to enroll just 7 people, and it could be just 7 people for the entire year, not even 1 per month, into a $5,000 coaching program with you, you're going to earn from that $35,000 per year. Now, if we were to use these 3 things, right? So we have a $100 course that we sell. We have a $30 per month membership site that people can join. And we have a coaching program that's $5,000 for those that are a little bit more serious. And again, we only need 7 for that. If we did just these 3 things, this is oops. I was getting too aggressive with the comma there. It's $102,080 per year. 6 figures on just 3 of the 12 income streams. You don't even have to do all the rest, right? In this scenario, if you had an online course that's $100, a membership site that was available at $30 a month, and you had your coaching page up to take coaching inquiries, and you were able to convert 7 at a $5,000 coaching program, that is when you're at 6 figures. That's the power of this 1,000 true fans in action. And you know what? We could sit here and do the math all day on all the other different scenarios. It's pick and choose which ones you want to do from this, right? And just so that, and I'm going to be taking your questions soon, but just so you can say, does this really happen? And Jonathan, has this happened with people you've worked with? The answer is yes. I'm going to show you some right now. I think this will be an encouragement to you. So let me do this. All right. So I love this story. This is Linda Cardamus. And when Linda first became a student, she said, I want to do an online course. She was a middle school math teacher, and she started a blog, and her audience was for Christian school teachers. All right. So talk about a niche. That's a niche. Now, some people might be like, that's too narrow. For her, it's been amazing. All right. So she is focused on Christian school teachers, and she focused on the problem she wanted to solve was helping them with, in the beginning, helping them with classroom management. All right. So Teach for the Heart, you can go look at this. And what we helped her do, and now she's got all these courses. So she's in that teacher mode, obviously. So she loves doing courses. So these courses are awesome. But this one right here, this Classroom Management 101 course, is the one that I helped her develop. And she charges $119 for this course. And last time I talked to her, and it's been probably 9-10 months since I talked to her, she said, Jonathan, this is going so well that my husband stopped his tech job in corporate America and came and actually is working for my business at home. It's been awesome. And since then, look at all these. She's created all these other courses that she sells, and she's just resourcing teachers, Christian school teachers specifically, which is really, really awesome. So there's an example with somebody who's doing it with around $100 course, right? The next one's Chad Allen. So when I first met Chad, he didn't have any of his blog monetized. In fact, one of his first things he asked me is, Jonathan, I'm building my blog. I've got email subscribers, but when do I monetize my blog? That was his first question. And I said, yesterday. You need to be doing this now, Chad. And one of the things he really wanted to do was a membership site. He has a passion for helping people put their books out into the world. He's a book writing coach. And so he started Book Camp. And with Book Camp, I think his original goal was like, if I get 50 people in there, Jonathan, and paying around $30-$40 a month, that would be awesome. Well, we showed him like a simple 90-day strategy that I teach on how to launch your membership site. And he was able to get, I believe in the beginning, 92 monthly paying members, around $40 a month. That created close to $3,000 a month in income for him. And that was a game changer for him. Then he ended up adding a course, Book Proposal Academy, that was around, I think, $1,000. And then he added a coaching program. I don't remember what he charges for that, but it was upwards of that $5,000 model. And since doing that, he left his corporate job as actually working with a book publishing company. And now he's doing this full time. And so there's an example. Here's another one. This is Jim Urban, and he's become a good friend of mine. And he is a therapist and a counselor, but he also is a leadership coach. And he got training with the Townsend leadership program. And he wanted to get his high ticket group coaching, 1-year group coaching off the ground. I think it was somewhere around $10,000. And so we came up with a plan. He launched it out there with different contacts and everything. And he got 7 people into his 1-year program in that $10,000 ticket. So there you have, that's a game changer, right? And he was already earning money in his counseling practice, but it was really something he wanted to do for getting into the leadership space. And so there you have it. Like, there's some real life examples of someone who, again, Linda, she capitalized on the online course. Chad capitalized on membership and other things. And Jim capitalized on that coaching. And again, these are just 3 examples of the 12. So what I want to do now is I want to get to your questions and or takeaways. We dug into the math. We talked about the different income streams. I hope this opened your eyes to the possibility that's out there for you with your message. There's lots of different ways you can earn money with your message. So let me pull up the chat for Zoom. And then if you're joining us on social media, again, we're in Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn. If you ask your question, just put a letter Q. It comes to me here and I can see your question. And I am pulling up the chat. I don't know where my chat window went. Give me 1 second to see if we got any questions. And if there's anybody, if you want to hit the raise, you can either raise your hand on Zoom or do the raised hand if you got a verbal question. That you can open up your mic and ask it that way too. Right. So let me go. Here is, pull this onto screen here. Over in Zoom, this is from Don. He says, where does blogging fit in the grid? Beginner, something else? How quick can this get monetized? This is a great question, Don. I see blogging as a marketing tool that can lead people into any of those income streams that we talked about tonight. So for example, blogging, podcasting, YouTube, live streaming on Facebook, all of those are marketing vehicles to attract people to your products and services. Now, that being said, what I did not include on this model, because I can't fit everything in, is the publisher model. The publisher model is where you're earning money from ads on your site. The truth be told, that's hard. You have to have hundreds of thousands of people visiting your blog to earn money on the clicks, on the ads, and the things that are on there. For me, it is much easier for me to create a digital product of some type, and you can make more money with less traffic. So blogging becomes the vehicle. So with a blog, you could have, for example, just to give you an example, you could have in the middle of your blog post, you could have, hey, grab my quick start guide PDF. Someone puts in their email address, and on the thank you page, you have, hey, would you like the course that goes with this? Hey, there's more like this in my membership site. So you could attach one of the 12 income streams on the thank you page, and meanwhile, you're capturing an email subscriber in the process. Hope that helps. It's a great question. All right. This one is from Jess over on Zoom. And she said, how did Linda decide to pick the online course first? I lean toward writer teacher, and I like both rows of options a lot, but just wondering if there's a better place to start or not. Yeah, here's the answer. There is no right way, but there is a right way for you. And there's a lot of different factors, like with a course, do you feel comfortable recording yourself on video? There's just a lot of factors there on online course, this, that, or the other. What I would say is to go back to what I said here. And if you feel unsure, then you might want to start somewhere in this area. So for example, one of the things that I would recommend for a course, and this is kind of a pro tip right here, okay? You guys okay with a pro tip? So here's the pro tip. Before you do an online course, do a 1-day workshop or a 4 to 6 week boot camp. Now, I really like this option, and I'll tell you why. I was just talking about Chad Allen. When he wanted to do a course called Book Proposal Academy, one of the things I advised him on was do this. Do a 4-week coaching program and teach like the 4 modules of the course you want to do. And then the people that you're going through this with, they're going to give you feedback. They're going to say, but what about this? And what about that? They almost become your focus group. And he said, man, that was so helpful, because it's like, oh, I need to make sure I create that video. And I need to make sure that I create that video. And by the time he got done doing his first 4-week boot camp called Book Proposal Academy, that was the genesis of getting it off the ground. And then from that, he took that and recorded the training instead of teaching it live, and it became the course that he sold, right? Now you say, well, how do I do that if I have no audience? Again, I don't want to go too far out of the scope of this, but trying to help you put all the pieces together. One of my favorites for both a 1-day workshop and a 4-week boot camp is to start a private Facebook group and start inviting people to come to this group? There's lots of different ways. You could ask your friends to say, hey, post this on your social media feed, right? So Tom's here. I use Tom as an example. He has one for men. He has a couple, I think you have 2 Facebook groups, but he has one for children's pastors. And so he could reach out to a bunch of other children's pastors because they all know each other, right? And say, hey, would you post this on your Facebook timeline? And it's like, hey, I just joined this Facebook group for children's pastors. Come join me. Click on this link, right? And you could, you can build the Facebook group. And then at the Facebook group, you run the challenge, like a 3-day challenge. And then you say, join me for my 1-day workshop. Join me for my 4 to 6 week boot camp. That's the strategy that Tom used to get his first few students into his 1-day workshop. That same strategy. Awesome. Great questions, guys. All right. Here's a question from Phil over on Zoom. Phil says, I have an active mini membership and my biggest issue is generating traffic with my lead magnet. So Phil, to help me understand, and you can tell me in the chat since you're here, does it go from lead magnet to, hey, join my mini membership? Is that how it goes? Is that what you are looking to do? I'll let you comment. I'll give you a chance to comment on that. You might be commenting on now. Let me go ahead and jump to another question. I'll come back to you, Phil. Anna says, what if I'm just getting started with social media presence and don't have much of a following? How could you gain traffic or an audience? Yeah. One of my favorite, again, is Facebook group because it's worked for a lot of our students who've started from nothing. So if you have a good topic and you have a niche, to get the word out and get people to join it, it's such an easy ask for people to say, oh, I'll join that group. That's interesting to me. And so that's one of the easiest ways. I used Kevin Horn's example earlier. With only 20 people in his group, he was able to sell 3 people into his 1-day workshop. And that's like no audience. He didn't have no audience for that topic. And that's how he got started. All right, Phil says the lead magnet's the first module called Open for Business for Kajabi users. It's almost 3 hours of video lessons, and the real pitch would be at the end of the module. I need to get more people to experience the module. Yeah, so you might think about talking about it sooner so that it's not like it requires people to get all the way to the end. It's great to have it at the end because it's kind of like, hey, the next thing to do is join the membership. But you might want to consider hitting it with them right away. So it's like, hey, this is maybe you already done this. Hey, this is a free preview and there's more to come. But just want to let you know, we got this membership. I would also, Phil, make sure that you've got, if this is a lead magnet, you've got emails. So you want to make sure you're following up with them in the email wise to push them to the mini membership as well, right? You need to have 5 or 7 emails that follows up with them on that same thing as well. That way you're not just only dependent on them getting to that last video to actually hear the pitch. All right, the thank you page does mention the mini membership. Awesome. You might then want to experiment with lead ads, Phil. You remember that from the live event? Doing a Facebook lead ad for the PDF. That way you're getting more traffic to test that. Let's see here. Alexander, during my elective creative arts career, I have done all of these and I'm comfortable doing it live at events and schools. Doing it successfully in the online world has been a real intense challenge. One of my greatest challenges is setting prices for my services. Yeah, you know, pricing is it's a difficult thing. There's a couple of general rules real quick that me share with you because I could say a lot about that. But when it comes to pricing your services, there's 2 schools of thought. One of mine, a friend of mine, Mike Kim, he told me this once. Maybe I was interviewing on a podcast. I don't remember when this came out, but he said, whatever you're thinking of charging, like add at least 20%. I think it was at least 25%. So like, if you're going to charge $100, make it 125 or 150 even. 25 to 50%, like add more, because we tend to undervalue what we can deliver. We underprice ourselves, most of us. The other way that you can do this is make it clear that the pricing that you're putting out there is like a launch price, or this is beta. We're going to be raising the prices on this. So if you feel like I want to test the price point, if you say this is really worth $500, this service, but I don't know if anybody's going to buy it, you could say, hey, this is a new beta test that we're running. It's going to be $500. So you're attaching value to it. But for the next 5 people or for the first 10 people who get this service, you can grab it at $250, right? So then it allows you to make it clear that this thing is going to go up and you could charge more later. All right. Awesome. So let's do some takeaways, guys, because again, I want to keep these sessions under an hour. Tomorrow night is going to be awesome. You don't want to miss tomorrow night. First of all, I'm going to bring my second camera and I'll show you kind of the setup that I have here and how I'm running this. But also tomorrow night, we're going to be talking about the Messenger launch plan. What are the 5 stages? And I'll give you a little preview. All right. It's audience, message, offer, plan, and build. There's 13 questions. If you answer these 13 questions, you will have set yourself up to have a profitable business. You'll have the right plan. You're going to have everything in order, your audience, your message, your offers. We're going to help you figure all that out tomorrow. So don't miss it. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. I want to take some takeaways. So you remember right here in the PDF at the bottom, I've got what is your single biggest takeaway right here. So put in the capital letter T in your takeaway. Out of everything you heard tonight, and boy, did we talk about a lot. We talked about this doer, talker, manager, thinker, the 4 different influencer voices. We talked about 12 different income streams right here. We talked about this concept of 1,000 true fans and kind of broke down some math for some of you. So what was the takeaway from you? All right, read off some of these. All right, bunch of takeaways. Phil says the grid of 12 offers was a takeaway. Crystal said, love this, Jonathan. Thank you, Crystal. Hope you guys are getting value out of this. And I hope this is like putting different pieces of this together, right? Let's see. Oh, I saw a question from Jess. I'll take this real quick as we're getting takeaways. How long was your first Job Search Mastermind class? I'm wondering about length. And could my one-day workshop be the same length as a boot camp? You could do whatever you want, Jess. You get to decide. There is no perfect length. It's whatever you want it to be. Some people have done a 1-hour, one-day workshop. Others did an 8-hour, one-day workshop. It's up to you. You get to decide. As far as me, here's a funny, quick little story. All right. So very beginning of my business, I wanted an online course. And back then I was on the PC, and the only thing available to me back in 2010 was Camtasia at $350. I didn't want to pay $350 for a software to record my course. So they had a free version of Camtasia called Jing, Jing. Now, the cool thing with the free Jing back in the day is you could only record up to 5 minutes of video. So I had to, by intention, make my videos less than 5 minutes. And I even had PowerPoint. And I always tell this as a funny story that if you go back, maybe I should go back and find them. But I remember laughing so much at listening to some of my videos because like I'm getting into the 4-minute mark and I still got like 4 slides. And you could hear myself speeding up because I wanted to talk, because I didn't want to re-record the video again because it's going to cut off and I had to get it in. And but here's the cool thing. People loved 5-minute or less videos. And to this day, when I record courses, I try to keep them 5-10 minutes for each and every single video. All right. Let's Deb says her takeaway was doing only 3 of the income streams can bring in 100,000. Yes. Crystal's was the Kindle. Jess said, love the different ways of describing the 4 groups. It validated my results being on target. Awesome. Tom says, get my course finished and also start working on the audiobook. I love that, Tom. McHenry, I believe it is, the 1,000 true fans and the Swiss dollars. Amy, you have broken this down in such a simple manner. I can do this. Yes, you can, Amy. You absolutely can. Paul, Kindle is the place to start for him. Love it. Jess, seeing the 12 offers all put together for a bird's eye view is helpful. Georgine says, start with Kindle. Thanks for all your guidance and advice. Cheryl says, appreciate the big picture concept. Very helpful. You're welcome. Anna, all the income options and how to monetize a blog. Alexander says, the 1,000 true fans equation was great. I completely agree. Chris says, how do you feel about paid ads or traffic? Yeah, here's what I would say. Like, if you want traffic today, you just got to go to the traffic store and buy it. It's like, if you want rice today, you don't have to grow rice in your backyard. You can go up to the grocery store and buy it, right? So now the thing is, you don't have to spend, and this is where with ads, people get tripped up. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. Like, you can run in our live event. I showed the people at the live event for $5 a day. You can run a lead ad, which is the easiest ad to run. You don't even need your own landing page. And, we've seen anywhere from 30 cents to 75 cents per email subscriber, and starting at just $5 a day. So you absolutely can do that. Don loved the Swiss passive income model, going to focus on the ones that will be the easiest to create. One and done passive income. I love that. All right. Awesome, guys. All right. That is what I have. So just kind of recapping this for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is going to be the Messenger launch plan. I'm also got a couple other bonuses, secrets that I'm going to be giving away for free tomorrow night. So make sure that you come. I think you're going to love it just for showing up. So there's show up bonuses. You got to show up to get them. And it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night. Again, tomorrow night, 8:00 Eastern. And we're really going to, tomorrow night is all about helping you map out that plan. I'm going to have a 1-page sheet that's got the 5 key areas, and we're going to help you nail down audience, message, offer, your plan, and where to build this business. Where are you going to build it, right? 5 key stages. We're going to break it all down for you tomorrow night. And I think you're really going to walk away with a good plan, right? So again, last night was about opportunity. Tonight was about the product and profit grid, how you're going to actually earn money. And tomorrow night, we're going to put it together into a plan. Sound good? Really excited to share this with you guys tomorrow night. Again, thank you everybody for hanging out on Zoom. I can see you guys. Feel free to wave at each other. So fun having you guys here. And for everybody who joined us on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and LinkedIn, thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you as well. We'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Bye-bye, everybody.